Good day, dear listeners. Steve Prada here with the Management Blueprint podcast. And my guest today is Matthew Stafford, CEO of Build, Grow, Scale, a community where e-commerce entrepreneurs and physical product sellers come to learn how to take their businesses to the next level. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, Matt, let's start with the first question is, what is your personal why? So why do you do what you do, and how is your business connected to your personal why?
Yeah, I would say that I get a lot of fulfillment out of helping business owners win. I understand, that's been the way that I've accomplished the things that I want to do. And by helping others win, I get a lot of energy from that. And I just realized how hard it is. And so I commend business owners for being in the trenches and doing that. I know me personally. I got a lot of fulfillment out of it because it was the one area of my life that I got a lot of praise. And now that I can actually help other people succeed at it, I enjoy that.
Okay, what you do is the conversion rate optimization, I think is it's called.
Yes.
And what I read on your website, it really struck me. You saying that it's not that you don't have enough traffic, but you're not converting enough. So that
Right.
really got my attention. So tell us a little bit about what that means. Is this really true that people already have enough traffic, and why are they not converting?
Yeah. So the average on e-commerce, and we'll use that one to start with, the average conversion rate is just over 2%.
Mhm.
So that means for every 100 visitors, about two people buy on average. So that means you had 98 people that clicked on an ad or searched for you, found your website, and then when they got there, it didn't close the sale. And most people think, okay, then I need to go get another 100 visitors so that I can make two more sales. And my thought process was, how about the 98 people that left? How about we convert a couple more of them, two, three more of them that already raised their hand and said that they were interested in what we do or were looking for a solution rather than buy more traffic. And if we do that, then we've already doubled the business. So why not the traffic that we're already getting, close more of them? And then once we do that, if we're getting four or five out of 100 and our competitors are only getting two or a little over two, we're actually a lot more profitable and we can go dominate our market. And so that was really why I thought, hey, let's make the website work better because we have our own websites too and physical products. And when we did that, the profit was so much more and so much more exponentially because we were already at our break even. So now capturing more from the same traffic made it easy for us to go out and buy more.
Yeah, and I guess if you're selling twice as many products with the same ad spend, then your ads become much more profitable, and then you can spend more on ads, and then you outspend other people, and then you can dominate. That
Yeah.
makes perfect sense. So you did share with me, and it was very timely because I was just about to launch our new website, and you shared me your what we call the quick wins framework for someone to just uplevel the website. We actually implemented what you said as well already. So please share with us, our listeners, what this quick wins framework and what are the easy kind of low-hanging fruits that someone can pick when trying to make their website better.
Yeah, so I'll give you two, the most valuable traffic that you have, and then I'll give you all four, but I'll give you the two quick wins to start with. Search traffic. So search traffic normally converts more than twice what an average visitor, and their value is almost four times. So if your average order value is $50, the person that uses search or and your conversion rate is 2%, you're going to convert the person that types in search is going to spend on average about $150 and convert at more than 4%. If your average order value or your search is 4%, then they're going to convert closer to 8%. And so we know that the people that use search convert much higher and spend more money. And so what we want is as many people as possible to use search. And after we discovered that, in fact, we have some sites where the most traffic that we've ever got through it is about 7% of their traffic, but it accounts for more than 30% of their revenue. So if you think about that, you really want to direct people to search. But why, after a while, we're like, okay, why does search work so much better? It's because the people are able to find what they're looking for, which to us was another big aha. Why is this converting so much better? What makes it so good? It's because they're finding what they look for, and then now they convert at a much higher level. And so we're like, okay, if we make the site much clearer, easy navigation, all the CRO principles, that's going to increase. The other thing that we realized is because we track what people type in that search bar, people would actually type in their problems or what they were looking for a solution to. And so then we would actually use that to come up with new products or to change the language or
Wow.
descriptions in our products. And by doing that, we had a site that had basically it was a stuffed animal and the kids could unfold it and it would become a hoodie. Well, their number one searched item, actually number one and number two, was unicorn, and then unicorn spelled wrong. Well, they didn't have a unicorn hoodie. And so when they released one and we emailed everybody on their list, we did just under a $500,000 in 48 hours.
Wow.
So not only does it help people find what they're looking for, it also tells us what they're looking for, and it tells us how they describe what they're looking for. So there's all kinds of benefits to your search, the
Wow.
search function on your website.
That is very powerful. So it's like when I come out with a new book, I always go on Amazon, I look for the terms that they are searching for so that I got the right keywords to advertise. So
Yeah.
that's basically putting this on steroid because it's actually on your website. So you're the Amazon, you're the platform, using your website as a platform and see what people are looking for. And then you can essentially develop products to fulfill those unmet needs.
100%. Yep.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, so
Yep.
that's number one. So you have three more similar and powerful ideas?
Yes, the second one is your filter page. So if you have more than 10 or 15 products, what most people do, or more than 10 or 15 SKUs, then your filter page becomes very valuable. And I know in our pre-interview, you and I talked about that. And we have multiple sites that when the people use the filter page, that increases their conversion by 3 to 500%. So 3 to 5 times if they use that filter page to narrow down their selection. Well, again, why would that be? It's because if there's a whole bunch of variations, instead of them scrolling on mobile traffic, which is, typically what people are on now, that's about 85% of traffic. They're looking through items two at a time. Well, if they can go, I'm interested in a blue shirt,
Yep.
now all of a sudden, instead of all the other items, it just shows the blue shirts. They scroll through that and it makes it a lot easier to find. And so it doesn't have to be these big monumental changes. A lot of times, like what I told you, we just say Homer-Simpson it. Is this so simple that Homer-Simpson could figure it out?
Mhm.
And so if you could literally go to the filter and say, I want to just see the blue shirts, and it shows you all the blue shirts, and you scroll through those, then you're going to be a lot more likely to find what you're looking for instead of new arrivals and you go through 1,200 products. And
Yeah.
so making sure that your product search and filter works really, really well. And there's some very good ones out there nowadays. That would be the second thing that I would do on my site right off the bat.
Yeah. That makes sense. So whenever I shop on Johnston Murphy is the one of the sites where I buy my shoes and and shirts and other stuff. And yeah, I definitely do that because they have so many. What such a wide selection, and I know I don't want to spend my time trying to figure out all of those. I just put in, okay, this is my size, this is the color, or this is the pattern, and then it just shows me the ones that they actually have and
Yeah.
saves me time. I love it, love it.
It
Okay, so
sounds
let's.
it sounds super obvious once we say it and you hear it, but then now that I said it, you actually can go, "Oh yeah, that's actually how I shop." But a lot of times the store owner who owns the site doesn't think like that. They're like, "Oh, I want them to see everything I have so
Mhm.
that they'll find what they're looking for." And it actually makes it hard for them to find what they're looking for. And so those two are by far the most valuable things that you'll do to increase conversions and your average order value.
Is this because people buy less on impulse nowadays than before, perhaps? Because when impulse buying is very strong, then maybe you want to show them a lot of things because they
I
might
think that they're still, even though it's an impulse buy, they're still going to look for what speaks to them. So yeah, this is a principle that like over the last 9 years, we've never been able to beat it. Like
Mhm.
no matter what. And we've seen all different things go through the economy in the last 8, 9 years. I really think it's more of a function of how people think and browse a website in general than maybe just a tactic during this particular period.
Yeah, and I guess people are curious, and even if they like something, they will check, oh, and is there something else that I like even better? And then they
Yeah.
get too many options, and then you
Yeah.
confuse them, and then they might not even make a decision.
Yeah, so we definitely, that is another thing. We narrowed down options. So we have a lot of print on demand and different suppliers, and we always try to get them down to three, maybe four max. And we've checked the conversions on that. They go, yeah, but if I offer them 10 colors, they can pick one that they like. And what ends up happening is we call it the paradox of choice. They like more than one, and so they can't make up their mind. So they decide they'll just come back later. And so every single time we narrow down the selections to 3 to 4 instead of 7 to 10 to 12, you'd be shocked what people put on there. Conversions go up and they go up drastically, many
Yeah,
times by 2, 3 times.
yeah, I get it. I can relate to this. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So what is
Yeah.
your suggestion number three?
Form fields. So I'm going to give you this one. Every single person can do it. They all have form fields. They need their customers to fill them out in order to give them the information. On the information page, everybody asks for the email. And so you can put text in there. And what we say is email required for order confirmation. So the thought process behind it was in the book Persuasion, people do not mind giving you the information as long as you give them a reason why. And
Mhm.
so if someone's going to cut in line and they come up to you and they go, hey, do you mind if I cut in line? 2 out of 10 people will say, yes, that's okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
As soon as they say, hey, do you mind if I cut in line? My kids are going to be late for school. It switches from 2 and 10 to 8 and 10.
Mhm.
So it's almost exact opposite. And so we thought like, oh, we track form field errors. We have tons of errors there. And when we did that, we reduced the errors drastically. And what we did was we realized our abandoned recovery, that went up too. Not only did we close more sales, but our abandoned recovery went up. Why? Because the order confirmation emails opened 85% of the time. And so we knew that they give you their good email because everybody opens their order confirmation email. You gave them a reason why. And so you'll get better abandon recovery, better lead gen, everything from putting the reason why you're asking for the email in that form field. The second one that we do is under phone, we say required for shipping notification. And the reason we do that is because everybody wants to know when they're going to get their item or when it's going to be shipped. And when we do that, our SMS recovery also goes through the roof. So
Mhm.
people want to be, notified when it's going to ship, and so they give you their phone number rather than just a junk number. And so
Yes.
that is the third thing that we do that we know works all the time, like every single time. It never fails.
Yeah, I love it. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm just thinking, I just launched a new book and it's a free download, but I didn't actually say why I'm asking for the email, which is actually this is where we send the book. And I think we are missing an opportunity there. So thank you for that. All right,
Yeah.
so I think you already over delivered here, but since you offered or promised four ideas, what is number four?
Okay, so the number 4 is a thank you page question. And so we ask this on all of our sites. We ask after someone's bought on the thank you page, we put a little pop-up that says, what was the one thing that almost made you not buy? And
Hmm.
so what will they do? They just gave you their money. They want to help you out. They want to tell you what was difficult, what created friction, any of those things. And so now they're going to go tell you the places on your website that they didn't understand or were confusing. And so now what you do is you go back into the website and you clear those up, fix those friction points, and you make more sales. We've done that now on every site that we go to. We know for a fact we've tracked it on one site that we've been on for the last 8 years. The wins from the thank you page question are over $10 million now.
Wow. Okay, fantastic. So I don't think we implemented this one. I think I misunderstood. So definitely a good one to implement. So let's switch gears here and let's talk about something that you mentioned in passing in our pre-interview, and it really started the gears for me. And you said that only sustainable things matter. What do you mean sustainable in terms of website conversion improvement?
Yeah, so most of entrepreneurs are very busy and they don't have a huge team. And so for me, I understand if I give you 30 things to do, maybe five, six of them are going to get done. And so you're not going to end up, if I say, hey, you really got to get better at running email promos. Well, that requires you to do something every single week over and over and over, and that never ends. Until you have a team, the things that really need to win for you need to be, hey, if I do this thing, or hey, if I get good at this and get it implemented, it's going to make a difference over and over and over. And I can just go back and maintain it rather than have to do it all the time. And so if you look at the wins that I gave you, each one of those is something that once you set it up, it continues to win over and over and over, or it's always providing you good information on how to make things better rather than be something that you have to do all the time. And so you can do all the things that are very sustainable to start with, and eventually then you'll be able to have a team and do the things that require constant, never-ending work.
Yeah, I love it. So it's set it and forget it.
Or not necessarily forget it, but go in and check on it once a month, because some of them, that's how we figured out like the wins for, what were people typing in, what were they misspelling. And then also like we want to take the answers from those questions. What was the one thing that almost made you not buy? And we put them all on a sheet. And the ones that are consistent over and over, those are the where we go back and fix.
Love it. That's great. So Matt, you spoke a lot about product companies, shirts and other products, and obviously that's really important for e-commerce businesses to improve their conversion. But there are a lot of businesses that are not e-commerce in the sense that they don't sell products. Maybe they have productized services,
Yeah.
or they sell custom services. So what is the difference in terms of a website conversion optimization between a product company and a service company?
There is a few, but in general, people are people. And so they're still looking for information or answers to their questions. And we always say to people, the reason why someone came to your site and didn't buy is typically one, they don't trust you, or two, they have an unanswered question. And so that means that things on your website aren't clear or aren't simple enough for them to find what they're looking for, or it's a mess. And so they don't trust that you're going to have a good solution for their answer. And so for me, those are the questions that I look at. Is it easy to navigate? Is it really crystal clear? Can I describe their problem better than they can? Because the moment I can do that, I now become their default answer, because they're like, oh, he actually understands me. For sure, he has the problem, or he has the solution to my problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then there are different things that you would focus on when it's a service company. It's not so much maybe the search, maybe these technical elements, but more copy would be more important.
Well, for us, if it's like they need to speak to someone, then we're going to do the things that are going to make them feel like we're easy to talk to. So you'd be shocked how many people want their customers to call them and they don't make their phone number easily accessible. It's like buried third page in, or three-quarters of the way down the page, or just a multiple of other things. You'd be shocked what you see. Most people, about 60%, never scroll. And so if you don't have the most important information above the fold, those people literally don't see it. and they'll go to the next option.
Wow. I never heard that, but yeah, it makes sense. I mean, when I go on websites, I don't start scrolling necessarily immediately.
Yeah, especially if it's laid out where like the hero image takes up the whole screen and that you can't tell that something else is below it. So
Oh,
we will actually put an arrow on the page at the bottom, like scroll down, or we'll make the hero image small enough so that you see the other items below it, knowing that there's a reason to scroll and look for more. And
mhm,
what those are called is false bottoms, and a lot of sites still have them because people's hero image is so big, it takes
mhm.
up the top of the screen, and then people literally think their options are only what they see above the screen.
Well, and just keep making notes, even though we already had a conversation before that, but lots of things to fix and now on my own website. So I'd like to change the topic before we actually wrap up because we're close to the end. And I'd like to ask you about your investments because you mentioned on your website that you're not just obviously not just an expert, you don't just run this community, the Build Grow Scale community, but you're also an investor. So
Yeah.
what are the type of companies that you like to invest in? Or what are the things that you look for?
Yeah, so we definitely obviously like e-commerce. That's right in that's our zone of genius. And so we're always looking for people that have a good product and good service, but their website doesn't work very well or they're just haven't really figured out the marketing. There's a lot of good ideas that are marketed very poorly. And so for us, that's really what we're looking for is these opportunities where people have an amazing product. They've created it as a solution that they needed, but they're not great at running the business or they're not great at understanding what it takes to get other people to buy. And so that's really what we're looking for because we know that we can go in and really leverage our skills to make a business work very well. And our goal isn't to go do a whole bunch of different things, but to stay within our zone of genius.
Love it. So the final question I have is that if I was an e-commerce entrepreneur, I had a good product idea that I came up with, I like to sell it. What is the one thing that you would suggest that I keep in mind when I'm building out my website? So as an overall kind of mindset or a mental approach
Yeah.
thing, what should I be focusing on?
So I'm going to say there's two. One is your unique value proposition. So the internet has made it available for anybody to be in business. So we all have competitors. And so if you can articulate your unique value proposition, what makes you special, what makes you more valuable than your competitors, that is extremely important. In fact, we have an entire course literally just getting that right, your unique value proposition. And so once you get that, the second thing I would say is making things extremely simple. Like we make so many assumptions that everybody understands everything on the website because we understand it. And the truth of the matter is, only before COVID, about 10% of sales were made online. During COVID, about 33%. Now it's went back to closer to like 25 to 27%. So just because we're online all day, every day, doesn't mean everybody else is. And so if you can Homer-Simpson it, like really say, hey, would Homer-Simpson understand this? Would he understand this language? Am I trying to be flowery where I should just say exactly what I mean? We never, ever, ever lose when we just simplify and
Mhm.
make it so simple that anyone could understand it.
Okay. So after we hang up, I'm going to read through my website through the glasses of Homer Simpson and try
Yeah.
to see if he gets it.
You'll be shocked at how many little things you'll realize just are not simple. And when you do that, how often you'll see a really nice uptick from that.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of doing this now. All right, well, awesome. Okay, so basically, it's not the traffic that it's not that you don't even have traffic, you don't even have conversion. Be twice as convergent if it's a word than your competitors, and then you're going to outspend them in marketing. You're going to dominate your market. The quick quiz, the four quick quiz that discussed: search function, a filter page, form fields that tell you why you asked the information,
Yeah.
and then a thank you page question
Yeah.
so people can give you some feedback and you can keep optimizing your website. That is really awesome. So Matt, if people would like to learn more and connect and maybe be part of the Build and Create Grow Scale community, where should they go? Where can they find you?
Yeah, they could just go to buildgrowscale.com and we have a lot of free resources there. And then if they're interested in talking with me, they can email me. My email is just matt@buildgrowscale.com, and I'd love to talk to them.
Awesome. So Matt Stafford, CEO of Build, Grow, Scale, and an investor in e-commerce companies. Thank you for coming on the show and sharing your goodies with our audience. And those of you listening, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on LinkedIn, and check out all the short videos we post on LinkedIn. So if you want to check out past episodes, past frameworks, you can just go on there and you can see 1 minute summaries of the frameworks there as well. So thanks for coming and thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for having me.